Take a look at this. This is Japan, a place where only 4.5% of their population is obese. Here is America, where nearly 75%, 3 out of 4, are overweight to obese. Today I'm going to tell a story inspired by journalist Johan Hari. This journalist talks about the differences of the two, where I live and Japan. Every culture tells a story through its food. In Japan, the story is ancient, it's deliberate, and it's breathtakingly effective. Again, just 4.5% of the Japanese people are obese. We have the same biology. We have the same world. But why is the difference there? So as a physician, I've been with so many patients that have told me, it's hard to lose weight, Dr. Ben. I just can't do it. Why is what I'm doing not enough? This isn't about willpower. It's about a system so ingenious. It's rewriting the health of all Japanese people. Now stay with me, because this could change your mind about everything. Now let's go back to 1945, where Japan was shattered after the war. They were bombed, broken, and they were starving. The life expectancy of a Japanese person was barely 43 years of age. Children were frail, they were sick, they were hungry. The government of Japan vowed, never again. In 1954, they passed the School Lunch Act. It wasn't just aid for their people, it was a policy. Every school, every child, every day would get a hot, balanced meal designed to rebuild a nation. Then, in 2005, they went further. They passed the Shokuiku Law. This made food education law. Not just what to eat, but how and why and how to serve and savor and connect the people. Food in Japan stopped being just fuel. It became identity, culture, community, and a legacy. It transformed a generation of people. So here is what's so amazing. Every Japanese school has a licensed nutritionist, someone who goes to school an extra 3 years above and beyond their educational degree. Someone like Harume Tatabe. She's part scientist, part teacher, and part lunch hour poet. Her meals, they are art. They're made fresh daily and never reheated. Under 700 calories, less than 3 grams of salt. Every food group has to be represented and perfectly balanced. No frozen nuggets, no pizzas, no vending machines, just what we would call natural food. Just rice, fish, vegetables, served with humility. Lunch isn't a break in Japan, it's a classroom. Kids serve each other, they eat together, they clean up together. They learn balance and responsibility and respect for their food and for themselves and for each other. I wish we had that here in America. Now, picture America, where 30% of school lunches are ultra-processed. Now, this is per the USDA. And look, in America, where only 8 states mandate food education, what else would we expect with our results? Japan's kids are built to thrive. And ours in America, they're fighting a losing battle. Let's come home to America and face a forgotten truth. As a doctor, I've been with patients. They've cried to me about their weight. They've talked to me. They showed me their frustrations. In the end, we try our best, but it's not their fault. And maybe it's not your fault. We have to look at it a different way. America once had a system. Let's take a look back. In the 1960s, obesity was just 13%. Kids had PE every day. It wasn't just once in a while. It wasn't optional. When I was younger, I lived through this in the 80s. We had presidential fitness awards. We raced against each other. We did shuttle runs. We did pull-ups, all to try to get this presidential award. We also biked and walked to school, and families were more together. School lunches were freshly cooked with, at that time, USDA ingredients, and they weren't frozen trays. Snacks were rare. One of the first major ultra-processed foods that we saw growing up was the Lunchables. Now, the portions are twice as much as they are back then from the 70s. But then we unraveled. We had budget cuts through schools. We had fast food contracts. The gym classes were optional or they were cut. This marketing that had happened to our schools hijacked many kids' today's childhood. Today, 70% of our groceries are ultra processed. This is as per the NIH. Kids get 7 hours a day of screen time. What is that? This is horrible. If only we would attribute time to more precious things as physical activity, our lives would be so much more healthier. Only 4% of schools have PE. This is per the CDC. Portion size, like I said, doubled since the 1970s. We didn't slip into this. We were sold this. All right, let's take you out of this for a second. Let me tell you a story about one of my patients, and let's call her Sarah. She's a typical mom, 40 years old, full-time job, and she's a patient of mine. She comes in telling me, "Doc, I've tried it all. I've tried paleo, I've tried keto, I tried intermittent fasting." Her in my office, she's telling me, "Look, doctor, I'm trying to do this and I'm failing my kids." Can you imagine that? This is a difficult thing you go through because Sarah wasn't failing. It was the system. At least I believe it's the system. If I was to think it was a system, my rationale is, bear with me. Imagine you have a classroom of 100 kids and 75 of them are failing. One would ask, is it the teacher's fault? Or is it the school's fault? Or is it all those 75 kids' fault? Let you think about that. So going back to Sarah, I gave her some inspiration from Japan. One swap, one fresh lunch, rice, salmon, vegetables, and fruit. After a meal, take a walk, 10 to 15-minute walk. One practice. The Japanese call a practice of Hari Hachibu. This is from Okinawa. It's eat until you're 80% full. Not until you're stuffed, just till you're satisfied. She took this, and then later on, I saw her 6 months later. Sarah was down 20 pounds. She was calmer. She was happier. Most importantly, she was in control. This wasn't because she changed herself. It's because she changed her environment, her mindset. So I think you're getting the idea here. Japan didn't beat obesity with willpower. They beat it with a system for their people, with laws. The schools that teach health, the nutritionists and dietitians that teach the kids. And most importantly, there's a respect about it. The other part is that they have cities that invite walking. Here in Orlando, we don't typically go walking in our major highways here, but their cities, they're built for this. It's a culture that honors balance. Now, going back to the journalist, Yoan Hari, he showed us what to do. I'm showing you why it works. In Japan, healthy is the default. In America, it's a struggle and a fight, but we can fight smarter. Stop blaming ourselves. Start redesigning our world, our environment, one meal at a time, one step, one choice. Okay, here is your mission for this week. Try one Japan-inspired swap. A fresh meal, a 15-minute walk after you eat, and a pause before you're full. Drop a comment in what you've tried, if you tried any of these Japan swaps. If this story inspired you, hit the like button, subscribe for more health dives about truth on health and obesity. Health isn't just personal, it's a cultural design. Let's redesign it one plate at a time. Thanks for watching.